The Herbalife World Football Challenge continues from steamy Chicago. Today, Soldier Field will see Manchester United take on the hometown Chicago Fire. The Reds have stormed their way through the States, obliterating their MLS opponents. They're hoping to put on another show today for the Windy City. Manchester United's form has matched the weather, scorching hot today at Soldier Field. United continuing their tour of the States with the Chicago Fire up today as the Herbalife World Football Challenge continues. From a sold-out Soldier Field, as we welcome you into the commentary booth, Adrian Healy joined by John Harkes. I imagine for Manchester United fans, John, nothing is pleasing them more at the moment than the pre-season form of Wayne Rooney. He seems to be in a very different place than the one he was in a year ago.
Well, he is, Adrian. A lot of that has to do with the fact that he's got a break.
A big day for David De Gea. He's been asked to follow in the shoes of Edwin van der Sar. Makes his first start today for United, John.
Yeah, and he's a very exceptional, young, talented goalkeeper, and they've been keeping an eye on him. Eric Steele, the goalkeeper coach, saw him at the U17 championships in Belgium. He'll be in the goal today. Jones and Smalling's two players. Chris Smalling is getting a shout as a center back. A lot of young players today making their debut. Cleverly comes back from Wigan. Roberto Martinez, I'm sure, wants to hold on to him. He was on loan. He'll be playing in the midfield with Carrick. Berbatov back from an ankle injury. He'll be with Danny Welbeck up top, a very young, promising striker.
Little glimpse at the United future, perhaps. This is the present, though, for the Chicago Fire.
That's right. And Johnson, who's been doing very well in goal, keeping some clean sheets to solidify this back line. Gibbs and Cuesta in their pause, back from injury. Holding in a 4-5-1 almost, but a 4-3-3 in attack. Palladini and Marco Papa, Patrick Niako, and Adura with pace on the outside. Nazareth up top.
Frank Lopez's side desperately looking for something to kick-start their season. Could success against United provide the remedy? We'll be back at Soldier Field, the first half kickoff just around the corner. Been here before at Soldier Field with England back in 2005, friendly against the United States. In fact, one other player today was involved in that game, Corey Gibbs, who played for the United States in that game, at the back for the Chicago Fire. What a night, or afternoon rather, for that man, David De Gea. I'm sure even though it's a friendly, John, he is desperate to hit the ground running. It's asking a lot, isn't it, to fill shoes the size of Edwin van der Sar's?
Oh, it is, and he's been given that, almost like that second coming of van der Sar. His skill, his distribution's very good. Just got to work on some of his timing and crosses, but a young goalkeeper for the future. And now we're seeing he's a keeper for now.
So an exciting afternoon for the Fire, an exciting afternoon in prospects for United fans as well. A little glimpse of what future editions of United could look like. We are told that there could be wholesale changes at halftime here at Soldier Field, but Sir Alex Ferguson taking the heat into account. Dimitar Berbatov is involved, though. He didn't play the other night with that ankle injury against the Seattle Sounders. Big Bulgarian contingent here in Chicago, delighted to see him. And a couple of young goalkeepers in action. 22-year-old Sean Johnson has made the #1 shirt his own for the Fire.
Well, when you look at the Fire's schedule upcoming, and Frank Lopez was saying Philadelphia on August 3rd is a very important fixture for them. So they got to prepare today as if they're going to be walking into that stadium to get 3 points.
There's Carrick digging in and winning his first midfield challenge. Berbatov looking to spin and turn up against Corey Gibbs. No rest for Patrice Evra today, though. Evra has already established what looks to be a very useful partnership with Ashley Young now on that Manchester United left. We'll have Mame Biam Diouf in front of him today.
I see Phil Jones, a young player, starting the center back. Quick start here from Chicago Fire.
And Evra trying to hold them at bay. Maduro out on the far side, the cross whipped in. Stabbed away by Phil Jones. So United without their normal defensive stalwarts in Rio Ferdinand and Nemanja Vidic. Rio Ferdinand basically rather publicly throwing down the gauntlet, didn't he? He said it's up to some of United's younger and newer central defenders to take my starting spot from me.
It's good to throw the challenge out like that. You want to see players, what they're made of, their character, and rise to the occasion. coaching staff at Man U have done a very good job, Adrian, of not only getting players for now, but they're always thinking of the future. They're constantly weaving in those young players, giving them experience.
Smalling, the partner of Jones. It's loose, though, from Fabio at the back. Will spin and turn, coming to nothing for Papa. Marco Papa, as always, will be the danger man for Chicago, and he's earned the first corner of the game.
Well, he's done extremely well, Papa. The ball, fortunately, rolls to him. He found himself against 2-3 defenders from Man U, but gets a corner out of it.
First real test, perhaps, for David De Gea awaiting. Here's Daniel Palladini, kept it low. Obertan was first to the loose ball. Nice looking layoff as well for Berbatov, looking to combine with the Frenchman, and does so. Obertan continuing his run into space, promising for United. Little chip was too high for Diouf. But United surging forward on the counter-attack.
Great exchange between Berbatov and Gabriel Obertan. You saw the ball just a little bit overhit, but you saw Diouf on the back post. He's come back from Blackburn on loan. The only player from Dakar, Senegal, that's actually represented as a Senegal player in Man United. A lot of youth being represented today.
Yep, 20-year-old Tom Cleverley, 22-year-old Gabriel Obertan, 20-year-old Danny Welbeck, all out there for United, but Berbatov, one of the wise old heads at the age of 30, can't keep that ball in play. Has won the throw for United down near the corner flag.
20 goals last year in the Premier League, and he's an interesting character, Berbatov, the Bulgarian. You never know what you're going to get from him. Sometimes he steps on and he can do miracles and go around 3-4 players. And then other days he's drifting in and out.
I don't think I've ever encountered a player who's divided opinion more than Dimitar Berbatov, John. Some think he's a misunderstood genius. Some would call him something very different. That's a lovely turn from Danny Welbeck. Berbatov trying to time his run. Is he onside? He is. Dimitar Berbatov, harmed away by Sean Johnson. It was a good look at goal, though, for the Bulgarian.
It was an excellent ball through from Danny Welbeck. 24 appearances last year, 5 goals. He's on loan at Sunderland. So a lot of the young players that come back, Man U, they want to assess them, see what they're all about. And so far, a very bright start. Good ball in behind for Berbatov.
Cleverly with the corner. It's up for grabs. And they may have a second chance to serve it in. No one really attacking the ball for Chicago. And the second delivery just a shade too deep. There's Tom Cleverly, who was outstanding, wasn't he, on loan for Wigan. Instrumental in keeping them in the Premier League last year.
He did very well for Roberto Martinez's team. Excellent player. Remember him last year, and he came on in the All-Star game in Houston. Wonderful goal he scored, lifting it over a player's head.
It's going to be fascinating to see whether he can make a sustained challenge for a midfield place this season.
Talking to the coaching staff, they have high hopes for him.
There's Marco Papa, the Guatemalan, hoping that Nazaré could get on the end of it. Papa, Chicago's joint top scorer this season with 5 goals. Goal scoring has become a bit of an issue for the Fire in recent seasons. They've had 5 different top goal scorers in the last 5 seasons, and none of them have got into double figures.
Well, and you look at Marco Papa, the Guatemalan international, and you know, right now they were hoping that he would get some rest from the Gold Cup. He competed very well in the Gold Cup for Guatemala. And they feel now he's rested and he's ready to go. He's sharper than he ever has been in training.
Another sharp run from Danny Welbeck, who was with Sunderland last year on loan. Another cut back from him. Some space to work with. Still Welbeck going. Tangle down near the byline. Nothing deemed foul, though, by referee Terry Vaughan.
And you saw Cuesta. He was overcommitted on the first one, and Welbeck looked like he had his clear path to goal. The recovery from Cuesta, just enough to get his body in there.
Yamit Cuesta, who wears number 89, one of the central defenders for the Chicago Fire. Actually sent off last week in the Fire's defeat to the Portland Timbers. That was a morale-sapping defeat, wasn't it? Chicago.
It just sucked the life out of them. It was a poor loss. You got to give credit to the Timbers, though.
Frankie Klopas losing to one Scottish manager last week in John Spencer. Hopes not to lose to another one. It's Michael Carrick. Wafting it towards Obertan. Was a judge to have pushed off there on Corey Gibbs. The Herbalife World Football Challenge continuing tomorrow. David Beckham and Landon Donovan, the LA Galaxy, taking on Manchester City at the Home Depot Center. That will be on ESPN tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern. Both the Manchester sides blazing a trail through the United States. United doing so with more goal scoring so far. Most of their goals have been in the second half of games so far. The games against Seattle and New England. The pattern's going to be repeated here.
Yeah, and when you go back to the Man City match that we did up in Vancouver, very encouraging from Vancouver's point of view. Excellent performance from them all around. And I think they can carry that with positives going forward into the league. Maybe get a turnaround there. Good side. They always play good soccer. They move the ball so well. Just haven't been able to get those results.
Hani Baba's long searching ball, hoping to connect with Daniel Palladini, but to no avail. Palladini, the first-year Fire player. Phil Jones, at the age of 19, partnered Chris Smalling recently for the England under-21s, the European Championships. Here is Smalling. Signed from Fulham last year, ex-teammate of Clint Dempsey's. Niako, one of the bright spots this season for the Fire. Segares, who's been ever present. Encouraging combination. In the middle third, Segares taking over, thought about the shot, instead provides the outlets. Alibaba, well, he did score a wonder goal earlier this season in the US Open Cup against the Colorado Rapids from about 40 yards out. He fancied another, John.
Yeah, he did, but you could see he was in between two minds. Wasn't sure if he wanted to put it in early, took the space. At that point, plenty of players committed forward from the Fire. Just want to stick it in there in the mixer, see where you can get anything out of it.
I think you'd have to describe that shot as optimistic.
Very optimistic. But you know, one of those is going to rattle off the post or go in. Those, you hope 1 out of 5 is going to get on the frame. Sometimes you take those shots, they make sense.
This is Diouf giving chase. Can't quite get there. Diouf 6 goals with Blackburn last year in the Premier League. Back with United, he's only got 1 goal in his brief United career so far. That was against Burnley a couple of seasons ago. 10 minutes in, a sweltering Soldier Field.
And that's going to have an effect on the game today. The heat, you know, so the movement off the ball is not going to be as much as sharp.
Sir Alex Ferguson claiming his remedy for dealing with the heat was to stay in the hotel. When he arrived in Chicago on Thursday. Lovely exchange of passes as Berbatov on his way through. Was he hauled down? No, says Terry Vaughan. Berbatov is still down, wondering where the whistle was.
Well, I'm saying yes, he was pulled down. It was a great give and go. Unfortunately, the ball was a bit too high in the air for him to receive it. Took too long to come down. But just how quickly he can switch it on, Adrian. You know, so quick in his mind. And his first touches are excellent. Here it is here. He just lulls the team to sleep. There's the 1-2. Watch how quick he does this. Right here. There's the ball from Gabriel Obertan. It's too high. He was waiting for it.
Yeah, the pass didn't do him any favors in the end, did it?
No, and I think maybe Terry Vaughan got that right. An embellishment there from Berbatov.
Berbatov coming into the final year of his contract now, start of his 4th season with United, led the English Premier League jointly with Carlos Tevez last season. 21 goals in all competitions, 17 of them came at Old Trafford. He's Dominic Aduro. Started the season with Houston. Good looking ball, and the header is in! Corey Gibbs! What about that? The rarest of goal scorers for Chicago comes up with a super header.
Well, it's a good ball from the outside. Papa takes it, but you see where the header comes from, just on top of the 6. Jones gets out challenged in Smallings, and I'm not so sure that David De Gea, he could have come for that ball. It's plenty in the air. He has more than enough time to come and make a punch on that, which he's very good at. The hesitation's there, and it's a great header from Corey Gibbs to get the opening goal for the Fire.
Corey Gibbs, just 2 goals in 92 MLS games, and now one against the English champions, and I think exploiting that newness at the back there for United with Jones and De Gea, as you mentioned.
That's right, and the newness, with the hesitation from the younger players of not to, take a leadership role there and challenge that ball straight away. But I thought De Gea could have come off his line and gotten that.
It was a free kick that hung in the air an awfully long time.
Yeah, there's plenty of air time on the ball. Good timing of it. The players are dropping off. Jones is there. Smallings was there. Didn't attack the ball, though. Corey Gibbs did. There he is. Another good ball in there.
And Jones getting up and winning that header. Now on the run is Welbeck. Could he get there? He can. He's through here. Danny Welbeck. Well, it was neither one thing nor the other in the end.
That's exactly what he did, Adrian. He was in between shooting and chipping it to the back post for Juff. Excellent ball, though, from Cleverly. Right into space. He just shaped it in there. Welbeck, he's got to make his mind up as a young player. Either just get a strike on goal, test the keeper, or lay it on the ground for Juff to the back post. He does neither.
Danny Welbeck playing for former Manchester United man Steve Bruce at Sunderland last year. 6 goals he scored in the Premier League. He even made his England debut as well in March in a friendly against Ghana. But United behind here at Soldier Field after a quarter of an hour. It's a new experience for them this year, at least in the United States. 4-1 victors against the Revolution, 7-0 against Seattle on Wednesday night. Here's Smalling trying to provide an impetus. It's the Fire fans who've really found their voice. Palladini. Well, unfortunate, Nazarit's ball had Oduru wrong-footed. Happy in Windy City. Not sure if they're surprised. And it's a delightful surprise as far as they're concerned. They've had so little to smile about this season, Chicago Fire fans. 2 wins in 20 MLS games. They've been the draw specialists, haven't they, John? 12 of their last 18 games have ended as draws.
Well, one of the things they wanted to add to their game was a bit of resolve. And how do we become a team that's hard to beat? I think Frank Lopez has done a very good job and his staff of trying to stop the bleeding. If you look at this Man U side too, Adrian, Berbatov, Carrick, and maybe Rafa here on the right back are really the only starters with experience throughout the league. A lot of young players out there.
And trying to take advantage of it. A little wrestling match there between Jones and Nazarit. A 20-year-old Colombian signed in mid-season.
You see the ball over the top. The arms are up already in the clip of the heel. Nazarit, a bit clumsy, wasn't it, in terms of his approach? Phil Jones has got to keep an eye on it, though. He knows the pace of Chicago. Duro has it. Patrick Nyako on the opposite side here, number 14.
Well, that combination going astray for United in the middle third. And the ball slipping under the foot of Nazarit. Phil Jones perhaps can be excused a little bit of rustiness. He was a late arrival for this Manchester United tour of the United States because of that England under-21 duty he was on.
4 players coming in late.
Here's Berbatov.
We're still waiting for Chicharito, who will be arriving late tonight or tomorrow morning. He'll be in New York for the All-Star game.
That's United's next destination, the MLS All-Star game coming up at Red Bull Arena on Wednesday, and then Barcelona for them as well. Finish up their tour. MLS All-Stars, 8:30 ESPN2. I hope you can join us for that. It's always a star-studded occasion. I think the league did a good thing moving it to Red Bull Arena as well, John. It's made it a very hot ticket indeed. Yeah,
very hot ticket and great occasion. You know, a lot of history in that area. But now with Red Bull Arena being represented in Harrison, New Jersey, it's very good. It's going to be a quality game too.
Here's Jael Anibaba making a far forward. Oduro, the cross he was looking for, safely gathered by De Gea. Signed from Atletico Madrid for some £18 million as Obertan absolutely storms forward. Plenty of help as well. Danny Welbeck wants the corner. I think he's going to get it.
Well, the options there from Obertan. He used that electrifying pace to blow by Segares. But here he has the options. You see the run. It's almost a good run, but a dummy run maybe. Berbatov screaming for it on the back post. And so Yamid Cuesta come across and block that out for a corner. That's a transition game, though, from some of the top teams in the world. Man U being one of them.
Cleverly's corner dealt with effectively at the near post, and Chicago could launch a response. Some speedy movement from Oduro. As United stretch temporarily. Help arriving. Oduro trying to thread it through for Papa. But Jones got back in time.
Well, already because of the heat, you see that the players' recovery, and this is all part of the preseason for Man U. Sir Alex Ferguson saying they need to be able to get through games like this for their fitness. It's a shame that ball was played in behind Oduro because he was off to the races.
Papa asking Nyarko to get on the end of the ball. 20 minutes in, Patrick Nyarko, massive Manchester United fan himself, as you're watching ESPN2's coverage of the 2011 Herbalife World Football Challenge. United against the Fire, delivered by DHL. Adrian Healy with John Harkes alongside from Soldier Field in Chicago, Illinois. And it is the Fire who grabbed the early lead because of Corey Gibbs' header back in the 13th minute.
So Rafael Da Silva, the right back. He has to chase back Nyarko, very conscious of their pace on the wings. His twin brother Fabio on the bench today, coming off maybe second half.
Well, we're delighted to be joined by Chicago Fire head coach Frank Klopas. Frank, great start for the Fire. Did you talk about the newness at the back today for the Manchester United centre of defence with Phil Jones and David De Gea? Because he certainly exploited that on Corey Gibbs' goal.
I mean, you know, it's good to get a goal on a set piece and for Corey to get it, but we knew, you know, that both the players in the back, their quality, and it was a good service from Marco, and Corey got to the end of it, and it was for sure a great start, but we have to manage the ball better in the seat, and we got to be able to be a little bit better with the ball and have guys that are going to move a little bit more and get it, and instead of losing it, because with the heat, we got to manage better that part of the game.
Frank, John Harkes, I talked to you prior to the game. You did mention how important it was for the boys to take a good positive experience today into the game against Philly August 3rd. How much of this is important for you guys right now?
No, John, it's very important, Harkes, because we have a new team. We have a lot of young players here, and then the more that time that we can spend together and develop some kind of continuity and understanding. Look, we're still working to get better, and this is a very important game for us as we're preparing for Philly, you know?
Even though this is a friendly, Frank, could this afternoon provide a launch pad for the rest of the Chicago Fire season, do you think?
It's a friendly, but all the games are important. When you step on the field and you put that Fire jersey, you know, we're trying to build something here with every game. And obviously, you know, look, there's no bigger opponent and to have a positive result here, or to be able to do things that we've been working on the practice pitch and do it against this opponent, definitely things that you can build on for the future.
Frank, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck for the rest of the game.
Thank you.
Thanks, Frank.
It's Frank Lopez, Chicago Fire head coach, watching his team storm forward on the counter-attack again. Good looking run as well. The shot on the end of it as De Gea scrambling. Well, nice look from Marco Papa, trying to plug away at that near post.
When we talk about Marco Papa and his freshness now, coming off the Gold Cup, he does very well to get around Carrick. Doesn't get a tackle. Good control in a short little space there. Half hits it near post. De Gea, the goalkeeper, getting his debut today with Man U. Seemed to have it covered, no problem.
De Gea continuing a recent line of very fine Spanish goalkeepers. Iker Casillas, Pepe Reina, Victor Valdez. They seem to be producing many world-class keepers in the last decade. De Gea hoping to be the next in line at the age of 20.
It's a process too, you know that. When they have a young team, and there's going to be a lot of disjointed situations today from Man U. Similar to what Frank Lopez said too, they have a lot of new players. They've changed in the last 6 weeks, so it's important that they get an understanding, a chemistry, and rhythm together. And it's the same with Man U. It's all part of preseason.
Fantastic scene, isn't it? A sold-out Soldier Field. Used to be the home for the Chicago Fire. They haven't played here since October of 2005. Had an excellent record here at Soldier Field in the early days, didn't they? The original Soldier Field. Winners of the MLS Cup at the first time of asking back in 1998. That was their all-time record at Soldier Field. I think they'd take that now, wouldn't they, at Toyota Park?
Oh yeah, certainly looking to change things around for them. Second part of the season in Major League Soccer.
Well, parity being what it is, they're certainly not out of any race whatsoever. They can pick things up in the second half. The playoff place is still very much within their reach. That's careless from Cleverly. And the Fire trying to take advantage. Good combination, Palladini. And he'd love to have that back. He mishit the shot. He also had Marco Papa wide open to his left.
Good combination, exploiting a mistake from Cleverly. Left it short. Needed to be better in the final third. And the conditions, we talked about the heat, but also I was down on the field, Adrian, earlier, and it seems to be a little bit heavy and sticking. The ball is going to get caught on the player's feet, so anything knocked short there. Sir Alex Ferguson feeling the heat, a little bit of sweat coming off to the scot.
Got to say, he's looking like a native of Glasgow.
Yeah, it's a little bit warmer than Aberdeen, and where he made himself a manager many years ago.
Yeah, won his first European trophy with Aberdeen, didn't he? 1983, the year that Frank Lopez was playing for the Chicago Sting, the old NASL. Haven't been able to make too much headway yet, Manchester United. Michael Carrick putting in the hard work to track back. Now Phil Jones. Interesting the Wayne Rooney called Phil Jones one of the toughest opponents he faced all season long last year. Blackburn holding Manchester United to a 1-1 draw. An ultimate game of the Premier League season. There's Yamit Cuesta, Colombian centre-back, planting it forward to his fellow countryman, Christian Nazarit. Maduro will work a combination on the far side, but losing out. Now can Welbeck instigate something here for United? Obertan. Lovely play from Gabriel Obertan! Well, that was very nearly poetry in motion, the way he flicked it over the top.
Well, the Frenchman never failing to be creative. And the risk factor, you love that. You want to encourage players to take these chances, and who cares if it doesn't come off. But having the confidence to do that, and that's what it's all about. Great bit of skill. Just over to that, popped it over to Costa Rican Gonzalo Segares. And the final strike, not the best, but still creativity, excellent.
Gabriel Obertan hoping to become more of a fixture this season for United in his third year. Schooled by ex-United player Laurent Blanc in his time at Bordeaux in France. Fabio winning the ball back in traffic. Welbeck has come up with a few delightful touches. Now this is Diouf. Danny Welbeck missed his kick and then fizzed over the top by Fabio. The Brazilian fullback trying to seize his opportunity.
Well, it's a good ball back from Diouf. He's trying to pick out. You see Danny there, falls over. And the final strike, not the best. Good bit of skill, though.
Manchester United having won a record 19th league title in England, already plotting how to capture their 20th.
Still trying to shake off that semi-final defeat from Barcelona. Sorry, the final, 3-1. Yeah, that's got to... They must be looking forward to the 30th in FedEx. Competing against them. That'll be a great game.
Yeah. They will have the advantage in terms of where they are in pre-seasons as well against Barcelona. Barcelona will be much earlier on down the road. The Spanish league season starting a little later.
Barcelona just signing the Chilean international Alexis Sanchez this week.
The rich get richer, John.
Yeah.
Fantastic signing.
Must be nice, huh?
Logan Paul's here. Miyako. Where it's going at the moment. Maybe Ryan Giggs will be wanting Patrick Niako's jersey at the end of the game. Palladini. Maduro. Seeing some daylight inside. His toe ended away by Phil Jones. There's Dominic Maduro. 5 goals this season. Dallas and Red Bulls player as well. A nice recovery from Niako. Well, he looked to have slipped and had the chance to get away from him, but he recovered quite magnificently.
Yeah, that's when the rush of blood to head as a young player comes into play. He recovered very well, and he gets around Fabio. But I'll tell you, all he has to do now is deep breathe, relax a little bit, and carry it one more time. Go at that player right away. You don't have to strike it from there. He knows it afterwards, but those are the things that Frank Lopez wants to instill in his players in the final third. Be more composed, link up, find the right play. It did all the hard work.
Yeah. Did you remember he was a huge Manchester United fan just as he took that shot?
Yeah, he probably did. Got a little bit too excited. Long way from Virginia Tech.
Papa inside to Nazarite. Good spell this for Chicago. Palladini. Oduro has help arriving. Anibaba's cross. Niako again slipped. The shot is up for grabs. A wild swing. Nazarite trying to jig his way through. Christian Nazarite showing some skill inside the penalty area.
Well, you see Nazarite as the ball kindly falls down to him. It's not cleared properly by Manu. And there's a little bit of skill. I like this. He goes in and out, trying to create space against Chris Smallings. Nice. Half a yard is all you want to create. He almost finds the back post.
Nazari has 2 goals in 8 MLS appearances since arriving from Independiente of Santa Fe in Colombia. Still only 20, Nazari, good prospect. Colombian under-20 international. Fabio for Manchester United. Berbatov. On it goes to Welbeck. Fluid movement from Welbeck. He's one of the better players so far for United.
Well, each game that he played on loan at Sunderland gave him more confidence, Adrian. He seems to have come into this preseason ready to go. He wants a chance.
Manchester-born Danny Welbeck. Through the youth team system. Finding Tom Cleverley. Cleverley evading the first challenge. Berbatov is offside. Sean Johnson spread himself very well in any case to deny Berbatov, but it wouldn't have counted.
Well, regardless of the offside, it's very encouraging to see Sean Johnson quickly react to this. Barely offside, but it was. But that's the way you do it. Great young goalkeeper coming through, trying to prove himself. Wants to get called back into the national team someday for the U.S.
And his first appearance in that January friendly against Chile. It's been quite a quick rise, hasn't it, for Johnson, who's only just turned 22.
Well, he's very young and athletic, but what he needs to add to his game is just a decision-making process. A lot of crossing. You're starting to see a lot more from the MLS this year. The wingers have come back, which you love, and I love. Makes it more exciting. So it's going to be, for him, it's just a process of growing, maturing as a goalkeeper.
Talking of wingers, that was Obertan trying to get involved. It was supposed to be a rebuilding year last year for Manchester United. Remember, they had lost Cristiano Ronaldo and Carlos Tevez in the previous couple of seasons. Yet they surged to glory with their 19th Premier League title. And only Barcelona preventing them from making it another memorable double. David De Gea. 2 seasons with Atletico Madrid, enough to convince Sir Alex Ferguson that he was a worthy successor to Edwin van der Sar. Here's Carrick, some space to exploit. Juff trying to do just that, but his first touch let him down. He was going full tilt, but couldn't hold it in.
Great ball from Carrick through the midfield. You saw Juff and Danny Welbeck almost making the same type of run.
More great action to be had tonight on ESPN Deportes. A double-header from the 2011 Herbalife World Football Challenge. Juventus against Sporting Lisbon. BMO Field in Toronto, 7 Eastern, then 9 Eastern. Real Madrid against the Philadelphia Union. Eastern Conference leading Union at that, from Lincoln Financial Field. All that after our game. Both games on ESPN Deportes. Busiest day yet for the Herbalife World Football Challenge. Papa. Jones sliding in on Nazareth. Just joining us, Phil Jones beaten in the air by Corey Gibbs for the only goal of the game so far. Papa. Segares, good combination with Nyako. Nyako has time to look up and pick his spot. The shot's still on. Well, I tell you what, the opportunity has been there for the Fire to extend their lead here. Papa really didn't connect.
No, he didn't actually, but this makes more sense in terms of fitness level. You see Chicago Fire right in the middle of their season. That's how it should be. Pre-season, teams should be struggling a little bit, but Man United trying to get that fitness back with the heat. So they are finding spaces in behind them, and you know, at times when you have that heat, Adrian, you don't run with your player as much. You don't stay with them. The discipline's not there. Chicago Fire exploiting that for sure.
Will it be another second half show for United? We have been told to expect wholesale changes in the second half here at Soldier Field. They scored 6 in the second half against basically a second string Seattle Sounders team on Wednesday night. Scored 4 in the second half against the New England Revolution. Both teams can basically switch their entire side. 11 substitutions here as Papa looks to make his mark. Deposits it into about row G.
It's good ball movement, though. It comes from the keeper, Sean Johnson. Good clearance out, and then a ball through from Patrick Nyako. Papa just found it bouncing up on him just enough. Have his strike go wide.
5 goals for him this year, Marco Papa. Just 7 last year. Cleverly. Obertan. Nyako sliding challenge, holding them at bay for now, but here's Fabio.
Yeah, he certainly looks off his game, Fabio. He looks tired already. So sharp in the other games that he's played against New England and Seattle. And certain players, like you said, Adrian, are going to need a rest at halftime, and new blood will come in.
Hasn't been able to establish himself in the United first team to the degree that his twin brother Rafael has. Rafael has twice as many appearances. 2 of them heading into their 4th season with United. Originally spotted playing in a Hong Kong youth tournament with Fluminense. Here's Patrice Evra. Smalling and Jones just about trying to tidy things up. Back it goes to De Gea. Jones, who can also play as a defensive midfielder. This to be an ideal combination of grace and steel, the 19-year-old. It's interesting, all these protracted summer transfer wrangles, John, and yet United took care of their business early on in the summer for the most part, with the minimum of fuss, it seemed. Ashley Young and Phil Jones acquired. David De Gea taking a little longer. It's in some contrast to the likes of Cesc Fabregas. Here's Logan Paws now. Sir Alex Ferguson. No shelter from the sun for him this afternoon.
He better get a hat on or get some lotion.
He's really been so positive, hasn't he, about the development of the sport in this country.
Just such a great person, as well as all of his accomplishments. A legendary manager.
An institution, beyond an institution, really. Sir Alex Ferguson. Still astonishing to think he didn't win a title in his first 6 years in charge. Yamit Cuesta slow to get up as the game slows down, understandably. It is beyond energy sapping out there. .87 degrees, actually a few degrees cooler than it has been in the last 2 or 3 days, but that's not saying much. Obertan. Berbatov. Berbatov continuing his run, he's offside. The Fire crowd excited to see the first big Bulgarian here since the Hristo Stoichkov days.
Well, again, they're always looking for that little link up and that combination on the top of the 18, just in front of that back line. And sometimes it works. That one, I thought he actually beat the offside. Assistant referee pulling the flag up. He's constantly looking for that little exchange just to get behind and leave defenders standing.
Even though he's joint top scorer in the English Premier League, his goals tended to come in bunches last year, Dimitar Berbatov, including 5 in one game against Blackburn. I'm sure he's reminded Phil Jones about that already. Last couple of minutes of the first half, but was this offside against Berbatov?
No, here's a great play from Juf. You see right there, wow. For sure, Segura is keeping him on just at the last moment. Left back, there's Berbatov. Didn't play in Seattle. Had an ankle injury, he's back now to full fitness.
Logan Paws. Very satisfactory first 45 minutes of work for the Fire thus far. Stay with us at halftime because we'll talk MLS and the World Football Challenge. Look ahead as well to the All-Star game on Wednesday. John and I will have all of that for you right here at Soldier Field.
This is smart from Chicago Fire right here. No need to rush it. Keep the possession. Make it difficult for Man U. Good ball.
Segura is on the move. Inside Obertan. Segura is keeping it low. Niako! Well, it was goal bound till De Gea stuck out a right foot to deflect it away. First big save in his United career.
Quick reactions from he as well as Patrick Niarco. And here's a great cut. Segares. And he just lays it right into Niarco's feet. Watch, 1 touch, 2, quick release. Excellent play from them, all around from Chicago. Really like the movement of the chess pieces, just waiting for that chance to kill.
Niarco shrug off the attentions of Berbatov, but running into trouble. But no trouble for the Chicago Fire in this first half. Corey Gibbs with the breakthrough after just 13 minutes. United had their moments, but couldn't seriously trouble Sean Johnson's goal. Stay with us at halftime. We'll talk MLS, we'll talk the World Football Challenge, we'll talk the MLS All-Star game. Expect wholesale changes as well for United at the start of the second half. United trailing Chicago here by 1-0. Will we be seeing Wayne Rooney in the second half? He's been out there warming up, literally warming up with Ryan Giggs. Let's have a look at how it happened in the first half, John.
Right, and here's the Marco Papa free kick. Lots of air on this ball. Corey Gibbs first to it. He attacks it. Phil Jones does not answer. David De Gea does not come out, and you see Smallings there supporting, but Corey Gibbs gets him on the score sheet early. Here's Gabriel Obertan. Good skill, a lot of pace down that side. Juf getting blanked out there from Cuesta, and then a little bit of creativity. Unfortunately, hey, you've got to put that away. Obertan, finish the chances. He should bury that. Another one here from Fabio over the bar. Danny Welbeck, he misses that one. Cut back from Juf. The attack has been kind of inconsistent from Man United, but they still show signs of what they're capable of doing.
Well, they certainly had their moments, didn't they? Opportunities to equalise, but likewise the Fire have to be pleased as the Premier League trophy gets unfurled. It's been following them around the United States. The Barclays Premier League trophy won for the 19th time by Manchester United last May.
Dr. Sir Alex, the father of success. Ryan Giggs, wow, what a legend he is, Ryan Giggs. They're hoping that he comes on second half. He was warming up, Adrian. They were talking about it.
Now the legend is right. There he is. Ryan Giggs, the 37-year-old Welshman, will be going into his 20th season. And
what a
potentially
remarkable,
his last.
Oh, what an achievement. He consistent, unbelievable player, respectful in the game. Excellent player.
876 career games with Manchester United. He has long surpassed Bobby Charlton's record. He went past that 3 years ago. Chicharito won't be here, though, despite the love for him. A lot of Mexican connections, of course, to football in Chicago. I think of Jorge Campos, who started it running, Cuauhtemoc Blanco as well. And some thought that they could be making a Mexican signing in the very near future, Chicago. This is the road ahead for Manchester United, the MLS All-Star game, and then Barcelona, both of them with us on ESPN2.
I'm really looking forward to that. They've done well. They've enjoyed this tour. They always do. There's Anderson warming up. Very good player. You see, Ji-Sung Park is out there as well. Johnny Evans could do quite a few changes that you discussed. And Patrick Nyako, I'm sure, is buzzing right now. If he's thinking about looking over there, he sees Ryan Giggs. There's Park. There's Wayne Rooney. Wazap, as his nickname is.
Well, Ji-Sung Park spent yesterday making deep dish pizza in Chicago.
Yeah, they looked natural, didn't they?
His good friend Patrice Evra. Some switches as well in the offing for the Fire, even though they don't have another game for nearly a couple of weeks. I'm sure plenty of players on the bench just wanting to get some experience here.
Well, Frank Lopez did say he wanted to manage the game properly and not just throw caution to the wind. He wants to prepare for August 3rd against Philadelphia, but also get some players in there. See John Conway as a backup keeper coming in for the second half.
Here comes the cavalry. Rooney and Giggs. Rooney, a second half substitute to such great effect 3 nights ago in Seattle, looking to reprise his role here. His 8th season coming up for United. There are still plenty of Everton fans who still haven't forgiven him for leaving Everton as 8 years ago, John.
That's the passion. You gotta love that. The passions of the fans. It goes very deep.
And he won't have endeared himself to Everton fans anymore with his words this week that Liverpool are perhaps going to be the strongest rivals for United for the title this season. As Rudy came out with a few days ago. Now he's on to try and turn it on against the Fire. We'll try and tidy up all the substitutes for you. Rudy came on for Dimitar Berbatov. Johnny Evans replacing Fabio at the back. Anderson for Carrick. Giggs for Cleverley. That is it for Manchester United. The 4 changes at half-time.
Wow, that's Adoro. He's got loads of speed. Still needs to work on his game at the end. His final touches technique is always something that needs to be discussed with that player.
Now Omar Baruch has come on for Nazareth to start the Chicago Fire switches. Conway for Johnson, we told you about in goal. Palladini is still out there. There are a couple of more switches which we will get to. There's Anderson. Tries to feed the ball forward. Here's Obertan. Ji-Sung Park arriving. Shot could be on for Giggs. And offside against Chris Smalling. He finished with aplomb, didn't he? Finished like a striker there, Chris Smalling.
It was a great strike for Chris Smalling. He's been moved out to the right back to make space for Johnny Evans. Here he is in an offside position. Anibaba almost keeping him on. He's got to be careful there, number 6 right back. Good finish it was from defensive player, young player.
And he scored 1 goal so far.
Yeah, 34 appearances last year. He's done very well to get involved as much as he can. Well, since his debut. Ji-Sung Park come on as well, the South Korean player. Very good. Combinations he and Ryan Giggs had against New England Revolution. The 1-2, just an understanding. That's just another level of quality that he brings. There's Giggsy.
Became the oldest scorer in the Champions League last season with a goal against Schalke in the semi-final. Patrice Evra, though, is still very much out there. No rest for him, it seems. on the summer tour. Johnny Evans. Down the line it goes. Are we going to see anything like the second half we saw the other night from Manchester United? And they exploded for 6 goals against the Seattle Sounders. Seemed to score with every chance they made, John.
Yeah, it was just one of those things that clicked, and Ziggy Schmidt's side made loads of changes, even bringing on some players that don't see time with Seattle. So it was just like the second half against New England. Stevie Nichol's side saying, look, I've got to give players some experience, and that game ended up being 4-1. It's going to happen. There's a drop-off in MLS. We don't have the wealth nor the depth of players that these teams have. Keep things in perspective.
Rooney's touch right into the stride of Ji-sung Park. Rooney continuing in support. Might get another chance. Flicking across the edge of the area. Dispatched to the feet of Dominic Oduro. Promising counter-attack unfolding here for Chicago. Oduro continuing. Baruch wanting it back. Oduro with work to do. Is Papa. He's going to get the free kick. Ryan Giggs lured into the foul. Well, you imagine Marco Papa, having won the free kick, would be rather keen to take it himself. The left foot of the Guatemalan will be what David De Gea has to worry about here. It's fully 30 yards from goal. Maybe even a touch more. Papa keeping it low. And De Gea responding.
Well, you know, the coaching staff of Man U, as well as De Gea, will not be happy. It breaks right through the wall. You see that Danny Welbeck just a little bit off the wall, too much space right through there. Papa keeping it low, testing the keeper.
There's no doubt that there is pressure on David De Gea. And United fans will remember how long it took United to replace Peter Schmeichel. De Gea, just 20 years old. Tim Howard, remember, was one of the attempts at replacing Peter Schmeichel.
Well, ended up being goalkeeper of the year his first year. Now Everton are very happy to have his services.
It's interesting to hear Sir Alex Ferguson talking about Petr Cech when justifying the signing of De Gea. Almost as if he regretted missing out on Cech as a 19-year-old. Jones at the back. Forward for Anderson, looking for the right sort of angle. Here's Papa for Chicago. Baruch on the run. The young striker trying to make an impression, or Baruch, 19-year-old Israeli.
A lot of promise for this player too, and exciting about his future.
61,308 here at Soldier Field. It's the highest attended club game in Chicago history. And they may have something to cheer about again as Niako gets in on the blind side. Good service, but the finish isn't there. What a chance for Baggio, who Sidic, he completely scuffed it.
Well, you're not going to get an easier chance than that. And it was really created from the hustle, determination from Patrick Niako. He gets inside of Smalling, plays the ball across. Here's the 50-50 challenge from Jones on Papa. All alone on the doorstep, just tap it in. Wow. I feel like Adam Sandler here. Tap it in. Wide open for him. What a great opportunity to go 2-0 with Sidic. He made a mess of it.
Sidic, the Bosnian, Third leading scorer last year with 5 goals. Hasn't scored yet this season, and perhaps saw evidence as to why that's the case. What an opportunity. Will they live to regret that, I wonder?
Good hustle from Maduro, defending back on Evra. Patrice Evra overlapping quite a bit. And you saw, we talked about the young players here on the field, even for Man U. Chris Smalling's there, allowing Patrick Nyarko to get in front of him. Just cross. Those are things that Sir Alex and the staff are going to have to work on, these young guys.
Another impressive outing, isn't it, for Patrick Nyarko?
Yeah, he's done well.
Segares.
Well, the thing, he's always had pace, but you know, he's starting to show control in his game a little bit more, Patrick Nyarko.
More strong work from the Ghanaian. Still going as well, looking for an opening. And Phil Jones wasn't about to let him skip around the outside.
He seems to be very inspired playing against some of his childhood heroes. And he's looking to maybe cap it off by getting a goal himself, Adrian. He hasn't been able to finish in the final third today, but very creative, opening up the game for the Chicago Fire.
Smalling grabbing every chance he can to surge forward at the moment. The nod down finds Rooney. Giggs picking up the pieces. Now Park. Welbeck waiting. And it's stolen away from him, but steals it right back. Obertan. A step over move from the Frenchman, and Corey Gibbs. Well, he copes very well, facing his own goal. Wondering where the help was.
Well, it was a delicate pass, not cleared out from the Chicago Fire. A delicate chip from Wayne Rooney to Obertan, and you saw the skill. A quick step over and a ball of place there. Done well from Corey Gibbs, though, to defend in that, just that near 6. Giggs who walks over to take this one. Very polished left boot of Ryan Giggs. Some changes going on, though. Some substitutes, that looks like, coming in for Man United.
Yeah, Welbeck is going to make way on the far side for Federico Macheda, the young Italian who's back from a loan spell. I believe Rio Ferdinand has come on as well.
Constantly scoring, Macheda, in the U.S. He loves it.
Giggs with the deep delivery. Anderson, everyone back for Chicago. Trying to protect their slender lead. Anderson. On to Macheda. Make an instant impact, but the shot's comfortable enough for Conway. Looks to bowl it out and into the stride of Maduro. What a great throw that was from Conway. Maduro has help. May not need any. Maduro! Dominic Maduro.
Well, John Conway taking advantage of Patrice Evra. Was off the pitch. Big open gap there. You see Oduro slowed down from Rio Ferdinand, and Patrice Evra wants to come back on the field. As we see this shot over the bar. There's Oduro. And you see, I think there's a lot of discussions right now, and that's what he was saying. If you want to come back on the field, get back on the field. It's a friendly.
I'm not sure he realized he'd been substituted, but he has. Rio Ferdinand.
Yeah, Rio was actually yelling at him, saying, get back, and he's like, wait a minute, I'm off. And I don't think, there was a little confusion there with the subs coming on. Johnny Evans is on the ball here. He came on as a second half sub. But it looks like he's shifting out to the left back position.
Yeah, it's interesting at the moment. Chris Smalling seems to be playing a very different sort of role. There he is on the ball. Almost a left winger at the moment. Nani. It's a great combination to release Macheda, but his first touch took it into the stride of Mikulic. One of the Chicago Fire switches at halftime. Federico Macheda on loan with Sampdoria for the second half of last season. Couldn't prevent them getting relegated in Serie A. instant cult hero, didn't he, Makeda? He scored memorably off the bench to win a game against Aston Villa a couple of seasons ago.
That was his debut.
Rooney! Plenty of power, but not the direction to trouble Conway.
Well, that's what he's made of, Wayne Rooney. The unexpected, the power, good technique. And at times he likes to drop off that front line. He's been used by Sir Alex Ferguson this past year, sometimes in the midfield. Hard-working, grafting striker.
Rio Ferdinand alongside Phil Jones. If he's fit, he'd certainly still be considered one of the best centre-backs in the world. Rio Ferdinand, he's found Makeda. But again, no problem posed for Conway. The Herbalife World Football Challenge continuing tomorrow with David Beckham, Landon Donovan and the LA Galaxy taking on Manchester City for the Home Depot Centre tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern. Game on ESPN. Rio Ferdinand, got a bit of a connection with him, haven't you, John Harks, in your playing days?
Yeah, he was. He and Frank Lampard, when they were very young, were my boot boys at West Ham. Short spell I had there, 13 games with West Ham, but you could tell when he was a younger player, asking me what kind of boots I wanted, but you could see he was going to be a player to step up. He was week in, week out, a very good reserve player in the youth international for England. I saw him in New England and he looked at me, he goes, Harksy, and I looked at him, I go, look at the size of you.
And for those that don't know, explain what a boot boy does.
Well, it's just preparing your boots for that particular day for certain games, like what you want, your studs or anything else. You have to polish them, and that was the old apprentice way of really respecting the game and growing with the game.
And now look at him.
Yeah, he's come a long way. He's done very well. And we were talking about Wayne Rooney and the little break that he's had prior to this preseason. Same with Rio Ferdinand. He hasn't had a break in 3-4 seasons. So for him, he said it's very good to kind of have some downtime and then pick up again and get the fitness back through this preseason tour to the States.
Yeah, missed half of United's Premier League games last season, Rio Ferdinand. Such an ironclad partnership he's established with Nemanja Vidic. Duro still showing a useful turn of pace as we're an hour into proceedings. The substitutions coming thick and fast here at the Herbalife World Football Challenge. Remember, each side allowed to change up to 11 players. Intent on taking full advantage of that rule as well in stifling conditions as Nyako storms forward. Zagaris, Papa on the turn. Marco Papa into the side netting. A lot of the crowd were on their feet here at Soldier Field, but the wrong side of the post. And that may be Marco Papa's last contribution to the game.
Well, it's a great turn. He finds space for himself. Phil Jones really dropping off deep there. Not enough pressure on the ball. Just half a yard. He wants to get his hips around it a little bit more to catch the near post there.
No, it's not going to be Papa who's making way. We are going to see a substitution very shortly. Maybe it is Papa. There's some confusion on the board. There's a 6 held up. It is number 16, Papa, who's coming off. And this is going to be the debut for the Argentine, Sebastian Grazzini, who's just arrived here in Chicago.
Well, it's a shame. I'd really like to see Papa combined with Grazzini. Very skillful player, Marco Papa. But Grazzini, well awaited. Big pickup for them in the offseason. He's still not full fit. Talked to Frank Lopez, said, you know, maybe we can get him 20, 30 minutes in this first game. We want to prepare him for Philadelphia Union on August 3rd.
He's played in Spain, Belgium, Italy, and Venezuela in his much-traveled career. Most recently with Club Atletico in Argentina. Evans for United, still trying to claw back that early header from Corey Gibbs. Anderson, Rooney was beyond him, would have been onside, but Anderson's ball overcooked. Frank Klopas, I think he was happy with Marco Papa's outing.
Well, as a coach, I'd be happy too if Marco Papa was on my team. One of the better skilled players in the league. Likes to take chances, creative.
An opportunity perhaps, the shot, oh, and a save by De Gea. He chipped that onto the post. A fierce drive from Baruch. And an excellent save from De Gea. I think that will prove to have been.
Well, very refreshing. Look at this as he just dips the shoulder, steps through. De Gea being tested now. Did well to get down quick. He was really struck with venom to the near post.
Yeah, it wasn't clear from that replay, but I think De Gea got his fingertips to tip that onto the post as Makeda comes back for United. Park. Rooney. Wayne Rooney wheeling and dealing. It's a good ball too. Opportunity perhaps for Nani. Well, a step over moves. Nani's shot palmed away by Conway. United laying siege to the Chicago Fire goal, but not getting any reward.
We saw a little bit of creativity and flair from Nani. It looked like he was doing a salsa dance, wowing the crowd. Good save from Conway. Again, though, Wayne Rooney peeling off that line and a delicate weighted pass to the back post. He's finding it quite well. You just wonder if, with all the subs now in Man United, are they just starting to pick up their rhythm a little bit more and threaten that goal?
Johnny Evans back in a hurry to win it for the visitors. Chicago Fire actually have a 100% record against English opposition. They've only played English teams twice. Derby in 1999, beaten 1-0. Everton were dispatched 2-0 3 years ago.
That's 2 or 3 times now Anderson's given the ball away.
There's Grazzini in the thick of the action, but losing out. Minutes into the second half here. Glad you could join us on ESPN. Adrian Healy and John Hartz saying if United can come back. The launch pad this could prove to be for the Chicago Fire season. Laurie Gibbs with the goal after 13 minutes, but here's Rooney, and United are back on level terms just like that. An exquisite finish from a man who looks to be at the very peak of his powers at the moment, Wayne Rooney.
You see Ferdinand giving a high five and a smile all around. There's a good chip over the top. And Wayne Rooney does all the magic in the world to beat Conway. You can't fall asleep when you have a player like Wayne Rooney on the pitch, and you see that from Mikulic, the number 23. He just turns his back, gets caught ball watching. Great finish though from Wayne Rooney, already contributing right away in the second half.
(1-1) at Soldier Field, and the sort of finishing that has been absent so far from the United display. It had to be Rooney, didn't it? Here's Nyako. Infield, Husidic shaking it on, Grazzini. Well, that would have been some introduction to the Chicago crowd from Sebastian Grazzini.
Well, again, so much space and time there. Rio Ferdinand out of the back, picks out his man, Wayne Rooney. And that's who you want on the end of the ball. Smiles all around in the preseason. He's scoring goals for fun. He's enjoying it. Seems to be very happy right now.
Well, we did wonder whether the Fire would live to rue those missed opportunities, particularly that one from Ristic. Here he is on the ball. Over eager to connect with Baruch.
And Baruch is finding space. He wants the ball to feet. Just that final third. That's something that Chicago Fire are constantly trying to work on. Just having that composure. It'll lead to more goals.
Nani, who was the leading assist provider in the Premier League last season with 18 of them. Had to suffer slipping back in the pecking order after the recovery of Antonio Valencia towards the end of last season. Valencia not here at United. It's the Copa America activity. Baruch. Easily done by Park. Rooney providing the outlets. And a fabulous pass to boot as well. Nani is on the end of it. Rooney is powering forward in support. But Mikulic was well aware of what was unfolding.
No, Wayne Rooney was about 15 yards in his own half when he picked the ball up from Dahia, the goalkeeper. And man, did he distribute a great ball to the wing for Nani. He sprinted to get into the box on the end of it. It's one of the top strikers in the world right there, showing you how hungry he is. He wants more.
Well, he has said he wants to become as important to Manchester United as Lionel Messi is to Barcelona. Said that just a few days ago. He may already be that important. Here's Park. Nani. For Smalling. Still playing out on the left, rather interestingly. His cross deflecting away harmlessly. Smalling signed after just one season in the Premier League with Fulham.
And Smalling finding a lot of room as a right back coming forward. Patrick Nyako, I'm sure, is exhausted from trying to attack. They're asking him to defend second half here in the heat.
Well, here's Baruch. Running out of room. Rio Ferdinand saw to that. There's going to be another switch for Frank Lopez. We're going to see the Serbian Bratislav Ristic in just a moment. There is Ristic. And it will be the end of the afternoon for Dominic Adura. Good contribution from Aduro. The United defence plenty to think about, didn't they, as Ristic, his second-year player, comes on, the former Club Brugge striker. Hasn't scored yet this season. Just a reminder of Herbalife World Football Challenge rules that penalties will be required if these teams can't separate themselves. Goes directly to penalties. Tied after 90 minutes as Makeda gives chase. Here's Grazzini. For Ristic. Breaks his way in the end. And going for glory with his first contribution in the game, Bratislav Ristic.
Saw his names in headlines there, I think. Trying to strike from there. It was a 3-on-2. Could have done better just to pick his head up and slow it down a little bit. A rare giveaway from Rio Ferdinand.
Well, barring a late offensive explosion here for Manchester United. It's been the sternest test they've received so far over the course of 90 minutes. And Seattle Sounders played them very well for the first 45 minutes the other night with their first string team out there. They were only trailing by a goal to nil at the break. Segares.
Just such a wasted ball from Palladini. Too casual. Graziani has come in and he wants the ball. You can tell. Moving all over the pitch, trying to get involved. His debut for the Fire today, the number 10. There's that ball again from Wayne Rooney to Nani. The connection's there.
Nani perhaps looking to return the favour. A little jinking move. Credit Segares, he stuck to his task rather gamely there.
He did very well, Segares, a Costa Rican international. He had to mark on Oberton in the first half, and now Nani. And here we go with some of the missed chances. They created some opportunities. Husidic at the back post. This save here, just off the post there. De Gea, and then Wayne Rooney on the end of Rio Ferdinand. Good ball over the top. A bit of skill from Rooney to beat John Conway.
Well, the changes are continuing thick and fast. Raphael is coming on for Chris Smalling. And Jones also making way for Nemanja Vidic. So it's the first teamers out there now in terms of United's defence. Ferdinand and Vidic together. Raphael out on the right. Johnny Evans playing at left back. Ryan Giggs. Combination with Rooney. Giggs on the move with a little delicate touch over the top from Makeda, which almost came off. Rooney. Raphael. Has it back. Raphael driving for the byline. Needs an outlet. No, he doesn't. He's done it all himself. Oh, how about that for a super sub roll? First touch of the game. Raphael winding his way through and then finishing from an improbable angle.
Well, it all starts again. You see in the midfield the space and Wayne Rooney peeling off that line. Creativity is excellent. And here's the overlap. And you see as Fabio he really just takes advantage of the space. The give and go into space here from Nani. Does very well to get around the Akko, and then he just blasts it near post underneath John Conway. He should do better. Just cover the near post. Wow. Actually doesn't even blast it. It's like, just kind of places it.
Well, he found a gap, didn't he, where there didn't seem to be any.
Well, it looks like it's through his legs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right through the 5-hole. Not good. Well, Raphael coming on, making a difference straight away.
He's only scored twice in 72 appearances for United. Raphael.
Well, he and Fabio both very skillful Brazilian players. They like to get forward out of the back. Good touches on the ball and vision.
So they have turned it around now, United, and have their third victory in a row in the United States now seemingly within their grasp. Quickly taken free kick. Nani was on the move. Anderson spotted him, couldn't find him.
Now, Anderson's passing has been off today. Normally a very solid distributor through the midfield.
Finished last season in great shape, didn't he, Anderson?
Yeah, and every time he goes away for international duty with Brazil, he comes back a bit heavier. They always have a concern with that.
He scored a couple of goals against Schalke in a Champions League semi-final, a goal against Blackpool on the last day of the season. Husidic swinging it wide. That ball had drifted out of play. You're watching ESPN2's coverage of the 2011 Herbalife World Football Challenge. Manchester United against Chicago from Soldier Field, delivered by DHL. Adrian Healy with John Harkes alongside. And United have come from a goal down to lead now by 2-1. And goals just 10 minutes apart from Rooney and Raphael. The two R's doing their job for United. The United players all week long have been talking about what a difference it is for them 8 years on from their first tour of the United States back in 2003, where they could go out in relative anonymity.
Yeah, not the case now, Adrian, and it's a healthy, you know, discussion. And you know, Ryan Giggs even said too, is like, look, I cannot believe how much the fans are growing here, and they love the game, very knowledgeable. Good tackle there from Corey Gibbs.
Federico Makeda upended unceremoniously on the edge of the penalty area. There's going to be one more switch, is there? I've lost count. I don't know if you're keeping count, John, but this is going to be Diego Chavez.
I think Chavez, who started as a striker or a second striker this year from Uruguay, coming in. 4 goals in 19 games, has been dropped more recently under Frank Klopas. Here's another give and go. Look at this from Nani and Rooney.
Yeah, to go back to Chavez, those 4 goals all coming very early on in the season.
Right.
Scored 3 in his first 3.
Yep.
And was on pace to really troublesome scoring records, but then went cold.
Yeah, he went on a drought for a while, Adrian, didn't he? And then resulting in Klopas having to change and look to mix it up. Quick short corner here.
Nani. It goes to Ryan Giggs. Park. Hemmed in on the far side by Husidic. Raphael and Rooney, the 2 goal scorers in tandem. Chavez with his first touch. Good 1-2 for Ristic. Ristic, well, Ryan Giggs exhibiting some frustration there. He thought he tackled cleanly. Terry Vaughan didn't like the follow-up action from Ryan Giggs and books him.
Well, he's saying he went for the ball, which he did. Don't see anything wrong with that. And a nutmeg. He's frustrated, the veteran player, 37 years old. What a legend at Man U.
Yoga and clean living, he puts his longevity down to.
It looked like Ristic was just winding up to strike it very hard, and Ryan Giggs got to the ball first.
It's a comfortable take for De Gea. Ten minutes left at Soldier Field. Fire 1, United 2. United looking to make it 3 wins out of 3. Giggs, as if in response to getting booked, pulling out a party piece and finding Makeda as well. Now Nani thought about the shot and goes on himself. Nani! Oh yes. Oh yes indeed. And the celebration to boot too. Oh, John Conway left grasping at thin air.
Well, it all starts with Ryan Giggs. The frustration, like you said, in the response. A bit of a skillful pass, then lays it back, and then look at the vision. First time over the top. Makeda wisely cuts back, finds Nani. He gets a bit of luck here because he's trying to get through. It pops off a defender, and then the just scoop over John Conway. He makes it look simple, doesn't he? Here's where he gets a bit lucky. It's off of Palladini. Corey Gibbs is just like, uh-oh, don't need that. There's the scoop. How do you like your ice cream?
Cool.
And very nice celebration to entertain the crowd. Man U 3-1.
Oh, he's becoming a force in his own right, Nani. As The challenge flew in from Ryan Giggs.
Ryan Giggs is like, what's wrong? I can't go to the ground anymore. I can't make a tackle. That one right there was Grazzini, the new signing. And they're saying, come on, you can get up. You're a good man.
Welcome to the United States. That challenge was all about Sebastian Grazzini.
Here again, Makeda doing well to just dig it out and keep it alive. And a bit of a luck from Nani here off of Palladini. And then the finish to make it 3-1. A lot of the changes coming second half. Manu, a lot of starters now.
What's fired in on goal. Quite what we were expecting. De Gea seemed comfortable enough, though.
Not a bad effort from Palladini. Good power. It's a long way away. Looks like David De Gea had it covered.
Again, the acrobatics. Nani has made this celebration very much his own.
He sticks the landing pretty well, actually.
Marks out of 10?
Yeah, I would give him a 9.2.
Artistic interpretation, perhaps. Here he is again. Well, really pulling them all out now in the back pockets. Anderson not able to produce quite the same level of exuberance. It'll be on to New York next for Manchester United. They leave after this game directly. And the MLS All-Star game awaiting Wednesday night. It's going to be a fascinating night. David Beckham reuniting against his old team. Nani looking to surge on here. It breaks for Makeda. No, it doesn't. And Corey Gibbs is to thank for that. After the All-Star game, Barcelona in DC, and back to prepare for the new season for United. Manchester City in the Community Shield to start their domestic season. What a start that will be. And then they start their defence of their Premier League title against West Brom a week later.
That's right, the Charity Shield will be August 7th. So all the preparations start here in the summer tour in the US.
And that's the early part of United's Premier League schedule. West Brom, Spurs and Arsenal. So a lot of North London early on, the latter part of August. What did you make of Wayne Rooney's comments during the week that he expects the sternest challenge for the Premier League title to come from Liverpool, who've certainly been busy retooling?
I'll tell you, I agree with that. Andy Carroll looks like to be a very good, strong signing up top. And Luis Suarez, what an unbelievable striker. Great pickup for Liverpool.
And Wayne Rooney is a Liverpudlian, a Scouser, but obviously from across the divide.
Yeah, he's giving respect to Liverpool. And King Kenny back in there managing now. Kenny Dalglish, what a player he was in his day. Trying to turn things around for Liverpool. It'll be a good race this year, I think, in the Premier League. So many speculations, though, Adrian, about players moving, and a lot of players after Nasri from Arsenal. Fabregas.
Well, United, the dominant force in the Premier League era. By some considerable margin as well. Is Nani trying to increase their margin of victory here, perhaps? Over-elaborating just a little. And the main resistance in the Premier League era has come from first Arsenal and more recently from Chelsea. For United, but will it be Manchester City and will it be Liverpool? We'll give them something else to think about this season. The Wednesday night MLS All-Star game is coming up from Red Bull Arena. The MLS All-Stars up against the defending champions from the Barclays Premier League, Manchester United. The AT&T MLS All-Star game live on ESPN2, 8:30 Eastern. Hope you can join John and I for full coverage of that. I think we'll have Max Bratos, Alexi Larson, Taylor Twellman, the stadium with us too. Steve McManaman, I'm being told, will also be on board. Be good to see Macca as Corey Gibbs makes way for Desan Robinson. And that's not all. Annie Baba says bye-bye. Michael Videra is on just for the last few moments. Corbin Bone came on for Palladini. And Parry Panthazopoulos is also on for Chicago. And that is interesting. In his first couple of minutes, there's number 24. He won an open tryout for the Chicago Fire back in January with 210 players from 19 different countries. Seeing his first minutes against Manchester United. How about that? I think his first act. Anderson. There he is. Pantazopoulos. Bit of a mouthful, John.
Pantazopoulos. There you go. It's like your producer, Chris Alexopoulos. It's very easy for him, but it's not for us.
Actually born in Greece and played a couple of years professionally in Greece too. Raphael. On from Giggs. Pantazopoulos sliding in to intervene. Grazzini caught hold of that okay. Ristic, oh, it took a deflection. And that'll be a late corner here for Chicago.
Oh, Grazzini showing a lot of promise as a new signing. Good energy, good skill. There he is in your frame. His first strike actually was going on target. He was blocked out. And the second one here for a corner. Husidic coming out to meet this.
Husidic with the service. Big jump by Robinson. He couldn't connect, and now United looking to pour forward perhaps. Just one additional minute. Ferdinand Herring in there. Breaks the way of Husidic. How different it might have been when he put his chance away. The shot is still on, but dragged well wide by Baruch. Well, the Fire can take plenty of positives from this, John, even in defeat.
Yeah, they did very well, especially in the first half, going 1-0 up from a set piece. Corey Gibbs on that goal, and then I think their approach was good. You know, they've got a lot of time and space in between games too. They can afford to go out and play hard today. Not a lot of MLS teams can do that, but there's Frank Klopas trying to change things here. Stepped in as interim head coach from his technical director position.
It's all over, and United have their third consecutive victory in the United States. Wayne Rooney again making a big difference upon his insertion in the second half. The United first teamers turning it around after they had trailed Corey Gibbs's early header. Rooney's finish was a delight. So too the efforts from Raphael and Nani. It was comfortable enough in the end for Manchester United to follow up wins against the Revolution and Seattle with this success against the Chicago Fire. Plenty more to talk about. We'll be right back to Soldier Field. United 3, the Fire 1.